Hail and welcome! My name is Sierra Cassidy, and I am a Canadian smut author here to educate and entertain smut writers and readers. Today I've got some book recommendations for you. Before we get into the book recs though, I wanted to let you know that my new OMEGAVERSE book, Nikki and the Night Owls Part 2, is coming out on April 22nd. Nikki and the Night Owls is a polyamorous OMEGAVERSE duet where a shy beta librarian falls for a sweet and spicy pack. Part 1 is them actually getting together and dealing with her stalker ex, and the stakes get even higher in Part 2, but now they're solid and navigating those risks together. Blurb. Now that Nikki's found a hot, loving pack all her own, it's time to get down to living the dream. Right? Well, maybe not. After her last job literally went down in flames, the beleaguered beta finds herself on the wrong end of the investigation, and she's not the only one. Not to mention her newfound family is at odds with a packmate's biological relatives, and that means trouble for everyone. It's time for Nikki and her pack to stand up for each other, what they deserve, and a few surprises that make it all worth fighting for. First up on the list is Stolen by Darkness by L.V. Lane. This title released March 27th and is a Why Choose Monster OMEGAVERSE. Blurb. Stolen by darkness, I exist in misery. A throwback with high blood running through my veins. They drain me and leave me broken. Mocked for my empathy when all others live for brutality and war. Then out of the darkness comes a warrior, the most wicked and feared of them all. He wants me, so he takes me. The last fairy with wings. Next up is The Last Rose by Kit Lin. This title released on March 31st and is a dark Why Choose OMEGAVERSE romance with hurt comfort and a sweet but broken Omega and her pack of not-so-good guys. It's book 1 in the Broken Omega series. Blurb. Corey. When I was young, just before I presented as an Omega, a boy in my class told me I was pretty. His cheeks flamed red as he held his breath waiting for me to respond. I giggled, covering my mouth, the way little girls do when silly things happen. His eyes went dark as I continued to laugh. Then he stomped off calling me nasty names. I never understood why boys acted like that. They do silly things, then get angry when you smile. But the thing I remember the most about that moment was it was the last time I felt normal. A few weeks later, during a fancy dinner party, men broke into my parents' house and killed everyone. They all died. My family, their friends, the staff, even those awful men that tried to take me away. And the only thing that scares me more than what happened that night is being forced to explain why I was the only one to survive. Next up is Mason by Layla James. This title released on April 3rd and is a Why Choose contemporary bully romance with forced proximity, step-siblings, and a college brotherhood. It's the first book in the Bastards of Bainbridge Hall and is related to Layla's completed series, The Brothers of Hawthorne Hall. Blurb. Nothing they'll do can hurt me. I'm already broken. When my stepfather dumps me off at Bainbridge Hall, I can tell I'm in trouble. At the mercy of the Brotherhood, I'm forced by my mother's husband to follow their every command. I should run. Far, far away. From the moment I arrive, these bastards test me. Every time they push, another piece of my past trauma is exposed. But I'm stronger than they think I am. And I've learned the hard way the only person I can count on is me. One brooding artist, one football god, and one hate-fueled stepbrother. Mason, Bear, Duke. The plan is simple. Keep my head down and focus on getting the college degree I so desperately want. But this house is not what it seems, and every door I open reveals a memory I had buried deep. Things I had willed myself to forget. Bainbridge Hall, where the bastards are beautiful and my nightmares become reality. Next up is Lies Like Rubies, Part 1 by Poppy Jacobson. This title released on April 7th and is a Why Choose mafia romance with a single mama and 3 partners embroiled in the mafia life. Blurb. The dangerous mafia world is no place to raise a child. Nobody knows that better than me. When my abusive ex returns from exile to snatch our 4-year-old daughter away from me, I'm on my own against him. until 3 men with their own agendas show up and consume my life. Dante, a violent and unpredictable arms trafficker, promises protection for my daughter in exchange for my body and my tears. Lorenzo, my brother's best friend, my father's enforcer, and my first heartbreak, comes barreling back into my life in the name of keeping me safe. And Nick, my daughter's persistent and sexy pediatrician, dives back into the violent life he left behind in order to save us from the dark currently pulling us under. In a world where a woman's value is defined by her purity, I'm damaged goods. But these men don't care that I'm a single mom, and I'm going to use every weapon in my arsenal, including these deadly men, to keep Lizzie safe. Will it be enough? Lies Like Rubies Part 1 is a dark Why Choose romance that ends in a cliffhanger. Lies Like Rubies Part 2 concludes Sophia's story, and for a full list of content notes, please see the author's website. The Lies Like Rubies duet and Diamond in the Dark are interconnected but may be read separately. Next up is Her Intoxicating Mate by Rianne Burnett. This title released on April 11th and is an MF Fated Mates monster lover paranormal erotica. Blurb. When Genesis walked into the woods that night, she only expected to complete her annual blessing. Then a werewolf joins her. Instead of running from the beast, she feels drawn to him in a way she's never felt with anyone. She's intrigued until she wakes up to his cocky human. There's no denying their attraction, though, and while she doesn't think that witches have fated mates, she has to find out for sure. And finally, we have Juneau by Calliope Stewart. This title released April 17th and is a time travel Why Choose OMEGAVERSE. Blurb. Boston, 1915. Juneau Wild is the youngest child of the illustrious Wild family. Despite her Omega designation, she is an adventurous troublemaker that spends her days driving her widowed mother crazy. Juneau constantly bucks against the constraints of society, wanting to live the kind of life that the heroines in her favorite novels live. One night, at a gala meant to decide her future pack, she touches a mirror and is transported through time, only leaving behind one glittering gold shoe. Boston, 2022. Juneau lands in the middle of a bar owned by Pack Steel, a group of former MC members. It's there that she meets Alphas Rex, Doc, Bat, Storm, and their Omega podcast. Juneau is immediately charmed by the modern world and by the sweet and surly pack that vows to protect her until they can figure out how to send her back to her own time. Unfortunately, the pack's former motorcycle club is out for revenge, still angry about the pack's abandonment of the club. This puts Juneau right in the crosshairs. In the end, Juneau must decide if her heart belongs in the past with her family or in the future with Pack Steel. That's all for now. You can find all of my books and platforms in the description below, as well as links to all of the books mentioned in this episode. If you have questions or suggestions for future episodes, please do let me know. And if you'd like early access to these, you can join my Patreon where I share them with people as soon as they're ready to roll. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon for another episode. Bye!